Pictures. You're on.
Since this is a section of the exhibit where you can really go to town, exploding myths about women, and those myths are still very much alive today, of course, and that is that women don't have very much of a mind or capacity or ability to do science and math and to get involved in the sort of high technology, which of course is the cutting edge of the American economy, and that is a male enclave. Women are beginning to break into fields like engineering and so forth. That to some extent is myth is beginning to fall. This might be a good place where you can talk about women in education and the fact, if you go down to the end of the timeline, the federal census statistics show that women have caught up with men educationally, and actually they're
Surpassed men in terms of graduate education.
No, not
yet?
No, not yet. But in terms of undergraduate, they have slightly, and they're very close to catching up with men in terms of graduate education. That is not the case occupationally. Women are still pretty much clustered in traditional fields, social welfare, education, and so forth. But go look at the nursing. Go look at the statistics. That's changing. Women have not yet caught up in terms of salary, wages, equal pay for equal work. They make about 80% of what men do. Women have not caught up with men in terms of public service. If you look at the U.S. Congress especially, you're going to see, considering that we're almost exactly half the population. So whatever you do as you go through this, women have come a long way. At the end we say you've come a long way, baby, but you've also got a long way to go. It's a journey, and it definitely, things are changing, but there's still work for women to do.
Here we have women who are mathematicians, physicists, chemists, and astronauts, women that completely break the mold. And we go back to the 1920s. Pearl Young, the first chief technical editor at NACA, now NASA, first NACA, now NASA, was there from the 20s and was chief technical editor for 25 years. The theater at NASA is named for her. Here we have Jerry Cobb, who was a flat first lady astronaut trainee. The astronaut program at first excluded men. In fact, for 40 years it excluded men. And the women wanted to break into that. Surreptitiously, they took the same training as the men and made the same scores, but when the men found out about it, they were barred from the training facilities. Jerry Cobb was one of their leaders, and here she is at the entrance to one of the Mercury capsules that, of course, she could never get in and go up in. Here she is. When you see her, here's a big picture of her over here with a little more information at the bottom. Here we have an African-American mathematician physicist, Katherine Johnson, who is still alive in her late 90s today, but who was relied upon by all the astronauts to calculate their trajectories. Neil Armstrong would not go down to the moon until he was assured that Katherine Johnson had manually figured his trajectory down and that he could make it and that he could make it back. And he said so. Here's Neil Armstrong right here in training. So, women, thanks to NASA and NACA, which I forgot to say at the beginning, we had an environment here in Hampton where women who were brilliant in technical fields, STEM technology we call it now, came here and came here a lot. In fact, the first woman you saw when we came in, Kitty Joyner, at the entrance is one of those women engineers. Thank you.